scare me design-wise. I'm not comfortable with them, and after Thing from Below and the debacle, I'm gonna call it a debacle, Thing from Below, what pushed the card over the edge. In the exact same expansion that other good cards came in, because the Thing from Below came out for the class in Whispers of the Old Gods. That is specifically the expansion where Shaman ended up getting like a little bit more of a push towards totems, is what Blizzard tried to do with Old Gods. And even though it didn't really do that much, like the Thing from Below in and of itself, the fact that it combined itself with like Primal Fusion, which ended up working in the future with the Wicked Witch Doctor, and then of course with Totemic Might, if you go back, the fact that Thing from Below is like a precursor to the power level of Shaman right now leaves me a little bit worried, because we're getting Cabal Lackey at the same time as we're getting the Crystal Runner, and Medivh's Valley just came out. Like, what is the next step for that type of secret mage? I hope it's not too strong, because I want to see that archetype or that type of deck kept in check. I don't like secrets personally. I'm a player who abhors secrets. I like the idea of interacting with your opponent on their turn. I think that's great, but secrets, the uncertainty factor of secrets is just aggravating to me, and the more of them we have in the game, the more difficult it is to really check for all of them. Luckily for us, at least, the new potion of Polymorph gives us the ability to check with it the same way we would check for Mirror Entity, and we usually want to throw the same stuff into them. We want to throw valueless stuff. We want to throw an Elven Archer into Entity. We want to throw an Elven Archer into Potion of Polymorph. We don't want to throw like a Molten Giant in one and an Elven Archer in the other, right? That's not the point. So I don't mind the fact that they are printing new secrets with similar triggers to existing ones, and similar defusing mechanisms, but the secret mechanic in and of itself is a scary one, because if it's good, then how do you defuse the secret bomb is the big question. Like Secret Hunter, right? When they go,
Yes.
Cloak Huntress, secret, secret, secret. The question is always, what the fuck do I do? Is it Snipe? Is it Calf Trick? Is it Freezing Trap? Is it Snake Trap? Is it Bear Trap? What is it? And so, if mages get to a point where I have to ask myself, what is it? Whenever they play a secret, the same way I ask myself a question when I play against hunters, then yeah, 3-mana secret has a huge chance to screw me over. It already does right now. If I play into counter spell, when I hope it's Mirror Entity, you often just lose the game. You lost a damaging spell that was aimed at removal, and the mage keeps their minion, and you've lost your spell, you've wasted your turn, they play. If their deck is remotely tempo-based, you're out of the game. You're completely locked out. And God forbid they'd have another secret to back it up. And that is where I get a little bit spooked with all the secrets coming together, especially when you slap a 6-mana 5/5 on top of it. So I hope my worries resonate with you in some way. But that being said, final card of the video, and this is by far the most amazing one. Raza the Chained. So all hail your new Reno Priest Overlords. 5-mana 5/5 battle cry. If your deck has no duplicates, your hero power costs 0 this game. The rest of the game. So we're talking about play Raza the Chained, heal yourself, no problem. And of course, this means that if you're playing a Reno deck, you've got Reno Jackson and Priest that can heal you to full. You've got Raza the Chained that can heal you, keep you topped off, right? If you play Raza the Chained, you can keep healing yourself every turn for the rest of the game. If this is actually applicable to something like Justicar Trueheart, then, and I want to know though, because I don't know yet if that's the case, but if it still costs 0, then you can keep healing yourself for 4 every single turn for the rest of the game. That is really impactful. I don't know that it's going to be like working that way, because there's a chance that Raza the Chained makes it so only the hero power that you have as you play it costs 0, and not, you know, Justicar Trueheart being played or Shadow Form being played afterwards drops down to 0. It'll depend on how they end up making the mechanic work, but based on what I understand, and I'm hoping the way it works, is you get to basically pay 0 for the rest of the game, no matter how much you change that hero power of yours. So Shadow Form Reno is looking a lot better, and Shadow Form Reno was one of my favorites. One of my first archetypes, actually, when Reno Jackson was announced. One of the first decks that I made was a Reno deck with Shadow Form, which ended up then, I think, boosting in popularity as other people picked up the archetype and did their own spin on it. I know Brian Kibler had a really good Shadow Form Reno Priest as well. It's one of the cooler decks out there. And what I think is interesting about Raza the Chained is Reno Jackson works with no duplicates, Raza the Chained works with no duplicates, and Kazakis works with no duplicates. And suddenly, you end up in a spot where, you know, mages can already play their Kazakis 10 cost spell for free. Warlocks can play their 10-cost spell with Shogal if they want to, from Kazakus, and you as Priest probably have time, thanks to Rouse of Chain and Reno, to get to turn 10 to play it naturally. So you can still play your 10-cost spell, except you're going to have to do it the normal way by grinding the game out the way that Priests like to do it. So I think this card fits Reno Priest very, very well. The only thing I'm disappointed by, and this is a very minor gripe, so don't think I'm actually complaining here, is this is only going to work in Reno decks, right? It's not a card that you can sprinkle in a typical Priest deck and hope it works or make it work. It is going to be specifically for Reno decks, which means, is Reno Priest going to be the new default deck, or is, are other lists of Priests going to be viable as well? Because the power level of a card like Kazakus for a finisher is really high. The power level of saving, like getting a free Innervate Hero power on Rise of the Chain every turn is really good, and the fact that it makes cards that have Inspire even better makes it even better. Confessive Doubtless is nuts in a world where you play Rise of the Chain. You can play the Nexus Champion Sarad in grindy games where you just finish the game off later. Kodo Rider becomes more viable in Reno Priest, not that it's amazing, but it's the type of card that suddenly you might consider playing. So, I'm kind of bummed out that I won't get to play anything but Reno Priest right off the bat, because the only thing I want to try is Reno Priest. But yeah, I don't know. I like the card. I'm happy Blizzard is giving Priest a legendary that isn't a fucking Herald Valash. I mean, I got nothing against this. You might consider playing. So, I'm kind of bummed out that I won't get to play anything but Reno Priest right off the bat, because the only thing I want to try is Reno Priest. But yeah, I don't know. I like the card. I'm happy Blizzard is giving Priest a legendary that isn't a fucking Herald Valash. I mean, I got nothing against this guy, but fucking, come on, guys. Right? Like, come on, like, Shadowcaster, Herald Valash, anybody? No? No? You don't see the problem? Yeah. Now we got something unique, in effect, and I'll be damned if it doesn't enable a new type of playstyle for Priest. I don't know how much support there will be for the Reno archetype in the future sets, but as of right now, it's looking like one of the most fantastic ones with the expansion coming around the corner, and I am hyped. That's going to be it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you have any thoughts on the cards themselves, post them. I will be reading them and responding to the ones that make me go, oh, that's awesome. So until the next video, you guys have a nice one, and as usual, may the fun and the luck and the Gadsden hype be with you.
No, you piece of shit. I just destroyed my own shit. No, I fucking destroyed her. You piece of shit.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Gadsden card review video. This time around, we've got more Cabal stuff to go through, but first and foremost, let's talk about some of the neutral cards that were announced. First of them is Backstreet Leper. So 3-mana 3/1 Death Battle, deal 2 damage to the enemy hero, exactly like a 3-mana Leper Gnome with the exact scaling of attack. So 1 mana, you'd get a 1/1, 2 mana, you'd get a 2/1, 3 mana, you'd get a 3/1. Now, is Backstreet Leper a good card for aggro decks? That's a question that I've actually pondered more than I care to admit, and the general conclusion I have is arguably not, unless you're already running Wolf Riders and you want to get another 3-drop that is straight up damage, right? We're talking about a deck where your only purpose or your only goal is to dish out damage to the opponent, so you ignore the concept of trying to get value out of your minions, but like with trades and whatnot. Wolf Rider is more effective there, but if you play Wolf Rider already, which gives you 3 damage if it can hit face, there's no taunts in the way, Backstreet Leper is a nice, I guess, addition to that specific roster. Is it a good addition? I don't necessarily think it is, but if there's a world where you want to play Wolf Rider, and you want to play Mind Blast, and you want to play all the sorts of aggro tools that exist in specific classes, then I could see Backstreet Leper being appealing. One of the scary things with Backstreet Leper is, of course, in a Druid aggro deck, I think this card is better than it seems at first glance. You could always just get an Innervate out. It's a worse Argent Horse Rider when it doesn't get the swing, but worst case scenario, it at least dealt 2 damage, right? If you expect your Argent Horse Rider to deal 2 damage once, and that's all it's going to do, and it's not going to trade, and that's never an intention of yours, for whatever reason, then you're already running Wolf Rider, and Backstreet Leper can double up as an extra taunt bypassing damage tool. Is it good? Again, I don't think it is, but it's a tool for aggro deck. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those filler cards that exist for the sake of making some archetypes that might need the help a little bit more consistent, but I'm not convinced we're going to see any play, even in the most aggressive decks. Hunter might justify it though. I mean, 3 mana, deal 2 damage, maybe connect once, demand an answer, because if this connects to face, then you're probably going to be in a good spot. Next card we've got is the Bomb Squad. So the Bomb Squad is a 5 mana 2/2 Battlecry, deal 5 damage to the enemy minion, Death Rattle, deal 5 damage to your hero. So this card was exactly made probably to counter Sylvanas, that's my assumption. I do believe that is precisely what their intent was. So you deal 5 damage to Sylvanas, she steals it, and then they take 5 damage whenever this 2/2 dies. So it's a very easy way to counter Sylvanas, which is played pretty much everywhere, and that is likely the reason they printed this. But beyond that, I think the reason Bomb Squad was created is because Blizzard is going to add, and this is a prediction that I'm making, they're going to add a card right now or in the next set, I don't really care when, that is going to let you give your opponent a minion that you have. So you can give them a Bomb Squad, you can give them something like Nat the Darkfisher, right? I don't think you would, but you could give them Nat Darkfisher. You could give them Doomsayer to guarantee a trigger. So I'm sure Blizzard is adding something like this, which is the reason they printed this. I would be surprised if they printed an entire card just to counter Sylvanas. That would be very, very odd to me. It seems way too narrow in focus to warrant a play. One of the things it does, though, that is kind of weird is it actually counters Cabal Shadow Priest in a weird way. If there's nothing on the board, let's say they have a 5-drop and you kill it with Bomb Squad, and you know they want to curve into turn 6 and play Cabal Shadow Priest, well, if you have Bomb Squad, they are forced to mind control it, right? They can't not play Cabal Shadow Priest, or they can't not target anything with it. So, is it good enough to see play to counter Cabal? Probably not, but it's going to counter Sylvanas at the very least. And who knows, I mean, a deal 5 damage Battlecry is really, really high. It's also controllable. It's not random. You get to pick the target, which means with cards like Brand Bronzebeard, you can do quite a bit of work. With a card like Shadow Step, you can sometimes probably find some work to do with this. You can probably use it with the Shadowcaster. If you want to return it to your hand and then bounce it back for 1 mana, we're talking about a huge damage tool that you can use in order to get some more removal through minion usage. Again, going back to my initial prediction, I do believe, however, there was printed with in mind a card that lets you give a card to your opponent that you control. That just seems to me. Alright, onwards to the actual Cabal classes. Mage first, Potion of Polymorph. So, Cabal Aki was announced 1 mana 2/1, let's play a secret for 0. Exactly the Kirintor Mage effect that I was alluding to that I thought was awesome. I think that this secret suddenly pushes Mage into a position where they want to maybe play that Grinder, Reno, Mage type deck, because this is an extra polymorph that you don't even have to pay for if you're running Kirintor Mage and Cabal Lackey, and if you're running the Reno deck, you might be running Ice Block, you might be running Ice Barrier, maybe a counter spell, maybe a Potion of Polymorph. Already one polymorph, you got Fireball, Frostbolt, Forgotten Torch, already sprinkled in, and suddenly, as you realize the way the Mage deck is built, the Grinder Reno Mage suddenly makes sense. You've got Kazakus, you've got the new Ink Master Solia that you can play, so your deck is already pre-Renoed for you in that you have so many effects that do the same thing, and so many ways to generate free spells and card draw in the class that it's not really an issue to play Reno Mage. And this is another one of those cards that enables the archetype even more. The unfortunate truth about this secret is that it triggers, for Mage at least, it triggers off of the same thing that Mirror Entity does. So if they play around Mirror Entity and they play like a 1/1 minion, then Polymorph, Potion of Polymorph does pretty much the same thing. One of the drawbacks as well of Potion of Polymorph is it makes the Cabal Chemist, the one that gives you a random spell, a random potion that is for the Cabal classes, the 4 mana 3/3. If you get, if you're a priest player and you play that and you get the random potion, which is Potion of Polymorph, and you play it, people know 100% what it is, because there's no way you would get a random potion that is a secret that isn't Potion of Polymorph, right? So Blizzard is kind of giving you some hints when you get this, when your opponent gets this and they're not a mage, what it is that they actually acquire. So I don't mind the card. I think it's actually a pretty fantastic one design-wise, and it enables you, dealing with minions proactively instead of being forced to react with Polymorph, which was the reason Polymorph was, on average, pretty tough to play. but it is a very powerful card. I mean, a 3-mana, remove a minion from the game is on par with Hex. The only issue being, of course, that you can't target with it. But a 3-mana Polymorph, if you play 3 potions of Polymorph and 2 Polymorphs, already there in any deck that you play in Mage, you have 4 cards that nullify minions and their abilities and their death battles and they nullify everything. That card right there is insane. It says after they play minions, so I'm assuming Battle Cry is triggered, the pointer gets transformed, kind of like Mirror Entity would copy something after they've played it. So I don't know if this is going to see play in Tempo Mage. I would not be surprised it would be the type of card you just sprinkle in Tempo Mage. But otherwise, I think in those Reno archetypes that I want to see come out, this has 100% a spot. And any slower mage, I think, will include this if they play Cabal Aki. And if you double up, again, on the Cabal Aki with Kirin mages, that's 4 cards that make your secrets cost 0. All you need to then do is find card draw. You have to compensate for the fact that you're emptying your hand very quickly. If you do that, then I think you've got yourself a decent, interesting new archetype. I don't know if it's going to see as much play as I'm hoping, but if only through the Cabal Chemist and other similar effects, like Babbling Book, this is probably some. I like it. I really like it. I love the effect of it, and it's interesting because I feel like I've designed that exact card a dozen times before. Never quite with the potion theme, of course, but the idea of a preemptive polymorph. I'm pretty sure I've designed that for Megator's Workshop at some point. I think I'm not the only one. That card is a very straightforward and easy one to come up with. Next one is a Warlock card. The next 3 are Warlock cards. Sea Devil Stinger Murloc. A Murloc Warlock card. Okay, 4-mana 4/2. Battle Cry. The next Murloc you play this turn costs health instead of mana. Alright, so this is a card that is... So we're gonna have to take a look at all the Murlocs to get a really good understanding of exactly what it means. But the most expensive thing you can play, that is gonna be like a discount for you, is gonna be Corrupted Seer. If you play Corrupted Seer on turn 4, alongside a Sea Devil Stinger, you get a 4/2 and a 2/3 on turn 4, which isn't too bad, right? In a Murloc deck, if you
I am the hope of the universe. I am the answer to all living things that cry out for peace.
Well, hello Dragon Ball super fans, it's Samkan here. I am back from what you guys can see by the title of this video, and yes guys, the return of Hit, the legendary assassin of Universe 6, is indeed at hand, guys. The V-Jump magazine, the issue of 2017, the January issue of 2017, broke the news just now. These are some groundbreaking news that we're about to talk, guys, in this video. So there will be spoilers involved. If you guys are avoiding spoilers, a fair warning, there will be spoilers in this video. I will be talking about some episode titles, some upcoming episodes that have been announced as well. So guys, honestly, I thought that the next coming arc would be announced on this year's Jump Festa that would come about on December 17th to the 18th. Apparently that is not the case. The news broke in early, and I mean, this arc, the Black Goku arc, isn't even done yet. I mean, apparently episode 67 will be the last episode that we'll be seeing when it comes to the Black Goku saga. So this is definitely coming early. I'm very excited. I'm welcoming those news. I hope you guys bear with me and follow me throughout this video as I try to break down what is going to be happening on the next coming arc of Dragon Ball Super, what it seems to be the return of Hito-sama. So the summary goes on to say V-Jump is announcing in the January 27 issue of the magazine that the Dragon Ball Super anime will be entering a new arc. The next arc of the story will focus on an assassin who comes to Universe 7 to kill Goku. The magazine also debuts a new key visual for the story arc. Now apparently guys, I did indeed announce that Hit is coming back. And honestly, I sort of made a speculative video talking about the fact that the Multiverse Tournament wouldn't follow, because I know that where a lot of people, I wouldn't say vast majority, but there was a significant portion of the fan base that truly did believe that the Multiverse Tournament would come after the Goku Black saga. Now there were a couple of reasons why I pointed out the fact that I didn't personally believe that the multiverse tournament would follow. Now, one thing that I want to say is that I am going to be releasing soon, shortly after the upload of this video, possibly, I don't know, a couple of days or 3 video where I'm going to be talking about the multiverse tournament. I'm going to try to break down everything in that video. I'd highly advise you guys to go ahead and check that video. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you stay up to date with that. So I'm about to read the translations, guys, when it comes to the next arc of Dragon Ball Super. What it seems to be December 18th is the mark of a new saga. The mark that a new era of Dragon Ball Super is beginning. So, November 27th is the episode title is going to become For Shenlong, Whose Wish Shall Be Granted. This is very intriguing. Actually, I forgot to mention a couple of things before going into the episodes. It says, the synopsis of the V-Jump magazine says that Goku is in danger. The strongest assassin comes to the 7th universe to kill Goku. The assassin is ordered by an unknown individual. So, by saying an unknown individual, I honestly do believe that it must not be Champa, because it has to be somebody that has never been introduced before. Now, I've made a couple of videos, guys, speculative videos, talking about the next arc and who could possibly enter a new villain or something like that. Apparently, there is a villain possibly behind Hit's action this time. Somebody either must have paid Hit some huge fee in order to perform this execution or something, or there's something deeper, something else. But there is somebody behind all of this time around. So that is very intriguing. It is very interesting, I have to say, the fact that Hit is coming back. I know this must be making a lot of people excited, because we have to say, and I have to admit it, and I believe a majority of the fan base does, the fact that Hit and their fight really brought back Dragon Ball Super to the level that Dragon Ball deserves to be. Episode 39, to my eyes, marked the beginning of what it seems to be a series of events that followed after that, that leads us to the Black Goku saga today, pretty much. But that fight, that was the beginning. That right there set a new plateau, a new standard for the Dragon Ball Super's animation. And overall, it seems as if though they are putting in the extra work, they're bringing in people that are a lot more experienced, and it most certainly does pay off. And if anything, it shows in our TV screens, I guess. But enough about that. Let's continue on reading the next coming episode of Dragon Ball Super. From what you guys can understand by reading this certain synopsis, is the fact that there isn't going to be any in-between breaks, and that is very important, and I personally am a big fan of that. I did not enjoy the fact that they had to take in-between breaks in order to possibly, perfect the animation at times. One of the reasons why possibly episode 67 looked that amazing was due to the fact that I believe they took their sweet time with it. They had an extra week. There were the Olympics then at that time, so they couldn't air an episode. That is besides the point, I'm digressing. Let's get into December 4th. The episode, from what it seems to be, we should be interpreting in about a couple of episodes that will be filler. So, December 4th is Goku versus Rally. The Earth comes to an end due to their battle. That, I really don't know what to make of this. I don't understand why they will fight in the first place. It's going to be somewhat of a weird plot twist. It is bizarre reading the title itself, so I don't honestly know what is going to happen in that episode. I mean, we are so privileged to get, first-hand, knowledge of what we're going to be getting in the next coming arc, guys. This is truly amazing. I mean, you gotta praise the power of the internet. I mean, it is true. Back at the day, we had none of this. So, it is amazing that we can have access to stuff like that, and me being able to talk about this with you guys. So, December 11th is going to be Challenge from Champa. Let's Fight in Baseball. Another episode that you can really understand what's going to be happening. It is going to be, I believe, another episode that could be kind of a slice of life episode. I mean, it says let's fight in baseball, so I don't see them going down in business that fast, but you can understand, guys, that there isn't going to be a lot of filler episodes, because on December 18th it says Goku dies, assassination order that must be performed. So I don't necessarily believe that Goku will die in that episode. I mean, if we were to do the math on tomorrow, I mean, we're gonna be getting the next coming episode, which is going to be episode 67, so November 27th will be episode 68, and 69, 70 will be the challenge from Champa. So episode 71, we're gonna be entering a new arc, and like I told you guys that the fact that there wasn't going to be the multiverse tournament after that, because if you did pay close attention to the announcement of Funimation and the fact that a licensed Dragon Ball Super in the English dub is coming, we don't know when, but it's coming our way. That was very encouraging, because there was a certain statement that I don't know how many people actually gave it the attention it deserved. I don't know if you guys overlooked it, but it said that Funimation entered into a multi-year agreement with Toei. So that right there should indicate the fact that there should be a lot more episodes, a huge lore build-up for the multiverse tournament, guys. This is the biggest event. They, I believe, should save that for the last arc of Dragon Ball Super, the be-all end-all. The most anticipated showdown is going to be in that specific arc, and I hope you guys actually stay tuned for my video, like I said. So enough about that. One last thing that I wanted to comment on before closing this video is this certain picture right here. So we see Goku, wearing the gi that he was actually wearing in the Universe 6 tournament. So is Goku gonna go back to that, or is this just, for a promotional picture that is showcasing Goku at that specific clothing? So because Goku in the Black Goku Saga went back to his original gi, wearing that blue shirt that he always used to wear back in the Dragon Ball Z days. So one thing that I wanted to say is that in this picture, though, seems to be brand new, and for one specific reason I'm commenting on this. Hit looks evil in this picture, guys. Now, if any of you guys pay close attention to Hito-sama's true character, he wasn't really a villain, guys, in episode 39, or the episodes that he fought Son Goku. I mean, he gave Goku a chance to get up where he could have finished him. Now, it is debatable whether or not, he didn't use all of his assassination techniques in order to kill Son Goku, because killing was not allowed in the Universe 6 tournament. But maybe, just maybe, something or someone maybe does something to Hit and forces him to kill Son Goku. I'm just saying, because when they were done with their fight, it seems as if though they became friends. So there were even talks at that time about Hit at some point joining the Super Fighter. So in a sense, even though this arc has me very excited, it also raises a lot of questions as to what happened to Hit. I don't believe that he in and of itself would just come to Universe 7 and want to kill Son Goku. Apparently he's ordered to do so, but there has to be something bigger than that, than what beats the eye, if you guys know what I'm talking about. And I'm pretty sure we're going to be getting more information down the road. We see an original picture back from the Dragon Ball days with Goku and Raleigh and those two little creatures that were apparently, when it comes